Welcome to my refining channel, everyone. Three tips here. What I have here is I had some high purity gold powder that I was rinsing off with some distilled water, and I went out to mow the lawn and forgot about it. All the water boiled off and the gold powder fused into pure gold pellets just from the heat of the stir plate. So what we're going to do now is I've got to do another refining. This had already been double refined, and what we're going to do is let's get a weight on what we got here. Tear the beaker to 0. Let me get the stir bar out of there. And now we'll add the gold pellets. There's another look at them jokers, man. Them things look pretty neat looking by themselves, but I want to sell the gold powder and not these pellets. Let's get a weight on our gold here. We got 35.6 grams of pure gold pellets. I'm going to add the stir bar back in, put it up on the stir plate here. I'm adding hydrochloric acid. That's 35 grams of pure gold, so it shouldn't take but about, we'll put it up to the 150 milliliter level. I'm going to turn the stir bar on, and now I'm going to add a little bit of concentrated sulfuric acid to precipitate out any lead that may be present. I don't suspect any lead at all. There shouldn't be any in here because this was a twice refined high purity gold, but I add sulfuric acid anyway. It hurts nothing and provides a big benefit. I'm turning on some heat, and now what I'll do is add some concentrated nitric acid here. I'm going to start out with about 15 milliliters. Each one of these droppers is about 3 milliliters. All right, that's 15 milliliters of concentrated nitric acid. The gold has been on dissolving now for about 15 minutes. I've got a little bit of nitric here in this transfer pipette. I'm going to add just drops at a time. Boom. Because this is very hot. If we put this nitric in too quickly, it could cause a boil over. I'm going to measure out a little bit of hydrochloric acid, add it into the reaction just to make sure that we didn't stall. Hydrochloric acid going right in. It's got a little bit of gold left in there. I've got just about a half a milliliter of concentrated nitric. I'm going to add that in now and try to get the rest of that gold to dissolve completely. As you can imagine, I was aghast when I came in from mowing the lawn and found those solidified gold pellets. All I was trying to do was clean them up. They'd already been refined twice, and I was cleaning them up with boiling water, and they formed those solid pellets. This is the entire sequence for dissolving this gold a third time, and it took about 20-25 minutes. Solid gold dissolves much slower than gold powder does. So it's just one of those things, if you refine gold long enough, you'll come across some crazy things like this. Notice how clear that solution is. This is the third refining. This should be ultra high purity gold when I'm done. While we're waiting for that reaction, I just wanted to show a couple of items here. I couldn't believe my luck. I've got 11 boxes of number 42 ashless filter papers, 12.5 centimeters. Paid $60 for these. I could sell half of them, make twice my money back, and still have 5 packs of papers left. At a yard sale this weekend, I bought this. It's number 10 copper wire. It's got coating on it. I have to strip that off. But if you look here, it weighs 25 pounds of copper wire. I paid $2 for this. And this is why I don't spend any time trying to recover copper out of my waste bucket. It's cheap and it's plentiful. I've got some ice here. What we'll do is add some ice to the gold solution. This solution is going to be high purity already, but we're going to go ahead and dilute it down so we can filter it out. We've got the solution cooled off real good now. What we're going to do is filter our solution. I've got everything pulled through the filter. Now what we'll do is get this area cleaned up, and I'm going to use sulfur dioxide gas to precipitate the pure gold out of this solution. Here's our pure gold in solution. Notice how clear the solution is. It's going to be very high purity gold. I'm going to begin this. I usually use sodium metabisulfite, but instead what I'm going to do is try some SO2 gas. This is sulfuric acid. I'm going to measure out 250 milliliters in a graduated cylinder here. Now what I'm going to do is get the, I've got an addition funnel up here. I'm going to take this down, and what we'll do is I'm going to charge this equalizing addition funnel with the sulfuric acid. Okay, this is the same precipitation as adding sodium metabisulfite directly to the chloroauric acid solution. When we put the sodium metabisulfite in that solution, in our orange gold solution, it immediately turns to sulfur dioxide gas, SO2 gas, and the gold precipitates from that SO2 gas. But instead of doing it that way, we're going to produce some SO2 gas in an SO2 gas generator and precipitate the gold with the pure gas. I'm going to set this back out of the way temporarily here, and what we want to do is I've got a bubbler set up over here. It's just a 250 milliliter filter flask. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to add sulfuric acid to this so we can bubble our SO2 gas through it. I'm adding 200 milliliters of sulfuric acid to this bubbler flask here. And this will serve to clean the gas from the gas generator before it goes into the gold solution. Reconnect the flask out here to the ring stand. So we've got it clamped in place. Don't want that thing moving around as we manipulate the tube. Now what I'll do is reach back here, get our generating flask, and I'm going to fill the flask. Well, not fill it, but I'm going to add sodium metabisulfite to the flask. I put an excess of sodium metabisulfite in here. I don't want to have to break the apparatus down and add more chemical to the gas generator while it's running. Now I'm adding distilled water to make a slurry. I'm putting on the equalizing addition funnel now. It's got an equalizing tube here that will equalize the pressure in the funnel and in the flask. Now we're going to try to clamp this thing in place to hold it securely. Now what we'll do is add our delivery tube to the bubbler. Connect the other end of the tube to the gas generator. I've got the gas delivery tube. I'm going to stick that down into our reaction beaker. Connect the other end of it to the flask with our sulfuric acid for cooling. I've got a little clip here that I'll install to keep the funnel and the glass connected. Now we're going to add our chloroauric acid solution. Let's replace this dish with the stir plate and add a stir bar to help this reaction. I'm going to drop in a stir bar now. Turn on the stirring. I want to start doing this before each precipitation. Getting a little bit of the solution on a piece of filter paper and testing it with stannous. It's important to do that to make sure that we've got gold in solution before we begin the precipitation.
Danger. Once the gas generator starts, it can't be turned off. Breathing SO2 gas will form sulfuric acid in the lungs and cause irreversible damage.
Alright, I'm going to turn on some sulfuric acid flow down into our slurry of sodium metabisulfite and start generating some gas. Alright, I couldn't get no gas flow going here, even though there's plenty of reaction going on in the vessel there. But if you look up here, the lid to the addition funnel has broke loose and all the gas is escaping out of that lid. I'll reach up there and try to hold the lid down. There we go. Now we're getting some gas. It's been about 20 or 30 seconds since I pushed the lid down. You can see some gold starting to form on top of the solution. The generator's working real good now. Just had a little bit of a gas leak up there. I think we're going to be successful now, bubbling our SO2 gas through our chloroauric acid solution to precipitate out our pure gold. and I just missed it. The solution started to turn a real light yellow color, and then all of a sudden it just went brown like you see right there.
This is the time-lapse footage from my GoPro. Here you can see me messing around trying to figure out how come I'm not getting the SO2 gas to bubble through my solution. Then all of a sudden I looked up and seen that cork on top of the funnel dancing around, and when I pressed down on it, then the gas came through. And I slowed the footage down here so you can see the transformation. It was almost instantaneous. It went boom right there and turned brown. In Hoke's book on page 57, it says that bubbling SO2 gas like this makes the purest gold of all precipitants.
I think the reaction may be done. It's only been in there less than 10 minutes. Let's see what we got here on a Stannis test. No gold. Everything now has precipitated. Reach back here and turn off the gas or the acid flow. Stop the gas generator. I'm going to reach in here and grab the delivery tube out of there. Rinse it off real good. Oh boy, this is triple refined, high purity gold. We used SO2 gas instead of the sodium metabisulfite. And the book says that this is this makes the purest gold possible. Look how clear that solution is, colorless like water over the gold. And so what I'm going to do now is we're going to empty it into this temporary waste container, and then what we're going to do is multiple hot water rinses to get any chemicals that are in here. Shouldn't be any. I mean, we bubbled SO2 gas in here, so we shouldn't have a bunch of chemicals in here. But I'm just going to rinse the gold well now with some boiling distilled water while I'm waiting for this to boil and rinse our gold powder off. Let's go over here and take a look at the silver cell. If you remember a few weeks ago, I was having a problem with this, and what I found out was when I cleaned out the cell, what I had was a whole bunch of excess nitric acid in the cell, and that's what was causing all my problems. This is my spare electrolyte that I use to augment the level of the silver and the physical level in the silver cell. And when I made this that time, I think what I did is I did not make sure that all of the excess nitric was out of there. When I added the additional electrolyte that I had on the side, it had a whole bunch of nitric. When I poured that in, that's when my problems started. And now, as you can see down in there, those silver crystals look really good, and I think we've got the problem with the silver cell licked. Yeah, I don't think we've got a bunch of excess chemicals in here. The gold's clumped up pretty good. It's sticking together. This is gold powder, high purity gold powder. I've got some pH test strips here, and this is just rinse water, and you can see we've got a pH of 1. So I'm going to keep rinsing with hot distilled water till we get all the acid rinsed off of the gold. I've rinsed this multiple times in boiling distilled water. I've got it pretty close to neutral. I think as close as we're going to get. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour off this last rinse into our temporary waste container. What I'm going to do now is rinse our pure gold powder down into this beaker, and we're going to dry this out now. Dry out the pure gold powder that we've got everything rinsed off of. Now what we'll do is pour this last rinse off into our temporary waste container, and then what we'll do is put it back down here on the heat. And I'm going to fill this up with water to create a steam bath, and we're going to dry off our gold powder in that beaker. Here is our pure gold, all dried off and ready to be packaged up. It's a powder now. And what we'll do is we're going to go in and weigh this up and see what we got here. Here is our nice pure gold powder. It's actually got some flakes of sparkly metallic gold. Well, this is metallic gold, but I mean, you can see some reflective pieces in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this container up here on the scale. We're going to tear the scale to 0. And now we're going to empty the pure gold powder into this little container here and store it in this container after we get it weighed up here. Looks like we've got 34.8 grams of triple refined, high purity gold powder. And what we'll do is we'll offer this for sale on my eBay store. What I have here are some small glass vials, and I've got a bag of lids that goes with them. What we'll do is measure each one individually each time. They're 5.7 grams. And then we'll add some of our pure gold powder to the vial. .8, that's perfect. That's an extra tenth of a gram. I'm going to sell them as 1 gram, but they'll probably be an extra tenth of a gram in each vial. That way, if you buy 10, you get 1 gram free. This will conclude the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I'll put links to my eBay store so that you can own a gram of pure gold that's been triple refined. Thank you for watching.